All right, this is Brent Leary, and we're live from the exhibitors floor from Icon 2017. And we're sitting here with one of the exhibitors, Leadpages.
Yep.
And I love this name, Bob, the teacher, Jenkins from Leadpages. Bob, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, Brent. Great to be here.
So before we jump in and start talking about Leadpages and kind of what's going on with creating Leadpages and how our small businesses are learning and can do better with them, you gotta tell me, where'd you get the nickname the teacher?
Yeah, so I was actually a high school history teacher for 10 years, and when I started my own business, I wanted to let my customers and prospective customers know that I was not just there to try to make a buck. I was there to help families out, help small families, small businesses that were, focused on families, etc. So I used my history as a teacher, put myself as Bob the teacher on the forum, and then was off from there. I went to an event, and people were like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "Bob Jenkins." They're like, "Okay." They turned to somebody else, and then they came back, and I said, "Bob the teacher." Like, "Oh, you're Bob the teacher." So I was like, that's catchy enough to stick around. So that was almost 15 years ago. 13 years ago, and stuck ever since.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So just get a little background on Leadpages, the company, what you guys do.
Sure. So we pre-launched Leadpages in 2012 before the software existed. Our co-founder and CEO now, Clay Collins, had an idea of turning templates that could be uploaded into a template machine where people wouldn't even have to upload them. They just need to change what the text was on the page. And so in November of 2012, it had a pre-launch. January it was launched as an actual product with a couple hundred users right out of the gate. So a company that is launched from that point forward to 4.5 years later, we have 47,000 customers. We are number 148 on the Inc. 500. We've been profitable since day one, but have also raised $38 million in that time frame from venture capital money. So we do very well with our customer base. We love helping small businesses make it easier to market what they're doing and to turn more people into customers.
So what's been one of the biggest challenges, or a couple of the biggest challenges small businesses face in creating Leadpages that actually convert?
Yeah, so first of all, it's knowing that they should have a landing page. Right, a lot of people think they need a website that has all the bells and whistles, has 15 pages or 45 pages, and then lo and behold, none of their pages actually have a way to capture a lead. They might have a phone number, they might have contact us or something like that, but the difference between a regular website and a landing page is that idea of focusing on conversion. So first of all, small businesses have to realize that they have to have those types of pages. We have a small business report that has been released here this spring that's all about, most small businesses don't even think they need a landing page. All they need is a website, just not cutting it. Now, once they have a landing page, what they need to remember is that people don't care about your product. They care about their problem being solved. So in your landing pages, make sure that you're communicating what's the number one problem you're solving and describe enough of the solution for them to want to say yes to knowing more, whether that's giving their email address or that's buying a product. Don't overwhelm them with all the details and information until they've said at least one yes along the way.
Are there any other important aspects of landing pages that customers kind of overlook?
Yeah.
Just little tweaks that could actually go from zero conversions to significantly improve conversions?
Yeah, so one is to make sure that your ability to convert is easy to find. So we call these call to action buttons, right? They need to be of high contrast in color. They need to be above the fold, which means as soon as you land on a page, that button is visible. You don't have to scroll for it, you don't have to hunt for it. And there's another one lower down. So if you have a landing page that has a couple of scrolls worth of page content, have at least one other button on the page. So a lot of people overlook that. They also overlook the idea of design. So, with our software, we give you a lot of templates which are already pre-designed for conversion. They're not just designed to look good, they're designed to convert. So having that is a real good advantage. If you're using something else or doing it on your own, just make sure you take into consideration the aesthetic, have it look good, but also make sure that all things are pointing toward those call to action buttons so that people take the action.
So what are some of the major changes in landing page design, particularly not just from the web, but also mobile, because it seems like most people are going mobile first. So what are some of the things that they have to do from a mobile perspective with modern landing pages?
Sure. So just to emphasize your question, Facebook has about 1.8 billion users. 1.2 billion access it monthly on the phone. So that gives you, 60-70% of people are accessing landing pages on the phone because they're going from social media or they're clicking on an ad and they're going to that mobile site. So everybody has to have mobile responsive pages. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Building a website in a traditional website platform or old school design, it's just not mobile responsive. So we want to make sure that that's responsive and even more than that, optimized. So one of the things we love that we've introduced in our builder a few months ago was the ability to hide or show sections based on what kind of device people are using, so that not only are they responsive and they look okay, you can read them. It's not like you have to scroll left and right on the page and zoom in and zoom out, but you also have that ability to see the content as it should exist. So having mobile optimized pages is also an advantage. One thing to note about that is the call to action button. Again, think about holding a phone. There's only so much scrolling before somebody starts to give up. So a traditional landing page, even something that might be made from one of our pages initially, might not have the button above the fold on that first screen on a mobile device. It's mobile responsive, it'll still look good, but you might have to scroll a little bit to get to it. So thinking about how does the experience for a mobile user differ from the desktop, and have the button right away on that front where your thumb's going to be. Most people are right-handed, so have it very accessible to that right-handed thumb, hopefully even across to the left as well for the left-handers too.
Talk a little bit about speed. What's the speed, the efficiency that you really have to have before somebody just walks away, not just from the website, but also from your mobile device?
Yeah, and this is a very important question because Google is going to penalize search results if you're not actually strong in the speed department, right? So they're going to rate the quality of your page not only in search but also in the advertising. Facebook does a similar thing. So if your page is not loading in like 2 seconds, you're going to be hurting. We want to get ours under 1 second, and that's the kind of thing that we strive for. Usually it's around 760 to 800 milliseconds is what we're seeing. Sometimes it's a little longer or shorter depending on image sizes and things like that. But it's definitely a concern. So not just on your mobile device through the high-speed internet, but how does it look on 3G? How does it look on internationally when you're in places that might not have high-speed internet? So that 1 second might be a little longer, but you want to make sure it's under 3 or under 4 seconds as much as possible.
So where can people learn more about the product? And it sounds like you have a lot of best practices that you are delivering as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously Leadpages.net is a great place to see. There's all kinds of different aspects of information that we provide. But I also would invite people to join us on a webinar. We do webinars to make sure people understand exactly what is the marketing strategy behind what we do and how does Leadpages actually make that really easy. So leadpageslive.com is a great place to go in order to find our next webinar that we're going to do and join us for that piece of education.
Right from Bob, the teacher.
Yeah.
Jenkins. I love that. Thanks for your time, man.
Thank you, Brent.
Absolutely.